All right. Hello, hello. Hello there, Demon Slayer. Oh. Alright, so we are working, we're going to keep going on our Rampager tonight. So I got all the contrasting done yesterday. First off is going to be dry brushing on this, on the chassis. I already see a spot I missed on the contrast, so I'll need to do that real quick. Hey, wifey. Amazing wife. Can you give me an assistance? Can you please grab a Gatorade for me, and then if you would be so kind as to get me some of the Johnny Walker, the new one, Black Cask. I opened it already and there's a glass next to it. Just on the rocks, please. But I also need a Gatorade. I realized I didn't give myself a non-alcoholic drink. Yes, please. There's a glass already down there right next to the bottle.
Please repeat your order.
A Gatorade, and then the new Johnny Walker Black Cask. It's the new bottle. It's sitting downstairs. There's a glass next to it on the rocks.
Just use that glass?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's a clean glass.
Okay.
Alright, so our dry brushing, I'm going to be using Rune Fang Steel. And since this is a lot, I'm going to, I think I'm going to use the mid-size dry brush. Yeah, because it'll give me the nooks and crannies better. So, how you doing tonight, Demon Slayer? messy tonight. Cleaning tweezers. These are my cleaning tweezers. 5 more warriors. Nice. Making good progress on the Necrons. At the Warhammer, it's an impressive brush flip. While I was at the Warhammer store today, painting, I had to make sure. I'm very happy that they did not have some certain items in stock because there was a bunch of. At one point, there were 4 Necromunda games going on at the same time because there's a Necromunda League right now, and it's like. You get it, please. Oh, okay. You right?
Yep.
Okay. So I was like, haven't played Necromunda in a very long time. So. Salute. It looks like YouTube's live. It's working.
Oh, yeah, I gotta do that.
Alright, so. Let's get this dry brush and show on the road. Sorry, I messed it up a bit because I need the brush to be slightly wet. Despite the term dry brush. And of course, you're on the couch, not on the pillow. There we go. No. Did you hear me say something, Lula? Yeah, for me, I'm always just been. I do dry brush on my hand first because I can see the texture. Just the way I learned how to do it. Yeah, going. Another one. Here we go. You got an upset tummy, Lila? Doesn't smell like it, but she keeps bouncing between the couch and her pillow and the couch and her pillow, so it's usually an inclining of upset tummy. Which we see if she starts trying to gas me out, and we know it's an upset stomach. So I should be able to get this dry brushing done relatively quickly because this is just the first round of it. Yeah, lots of discussions about detachments and such for the new edition, and we're hoping that They will be publishing those rules soon. I mean, well, the rules are out, but it's the big thing is the points costs, because there's definitely going to be points balances, and then I hope that there's like a list of detachments or detachment adjustments, because like they showed off some new detachments for every faction. But is that a hair? I think it's a hair. They showed off some new detachments. Why are you wiggly puppy?
Request.
Cake?
Request cake.
Oh, head upstairs and get mommy.
I would love to provide you're getting a plate. You're getting a plate.
There's a lot going on around me right now. But yeah, I'm hoping that they'll not be stingy with the detachment rules and such initially. Just let the, show off all the detachments and maybe add more. Maybe that bone is heavy. As the codexes come out. We'll see how that goes.
Coming.
There's cake tonight due to the daughter. We got a report card in and she kicking butt. So, as a reward, crazy cake. Oh, lots of cake. This is looking nice. Already look at the change in that leg to that leg. A bit of a dry brushing can do. Get all in here. I do know that if you play, there's like, we were looking at the rules and the models today. Since they did the official pre-order was open, the manager of the store had he was actually assembling models there, so I got to get some really close looks at the new stuff. And I was thinking about posting it, but I'm like, just in case he's not supposed to, I'm not going to post that. So, because I like our manager, he's a good person. I don't want to get him in trouble. So, didn't post stuff, but I got to see a lot of the orcs in person, and the Marines too, but I was more interested in looking at the orcs. And good looking models. And it wasn't having too much trouble with the push fits, so that's good. I know that like some of the push fits are really good, but then like one sprue of Warhammer Quest, the push fits were bad. I had to do a lot of hobbying to make them fit. So, is that good? Hmm? Alright. So, yeah. No, I'm okay. So you see lots of new orcs. Well, I painted on some castors. Mm-hmm. Lots of cake. No changing quality. Oh, good. Ah, there's a reason. That's fair. If you want to eat down here, you can. Yeah, this is good that I use a smaller dry brush. If I tried to go with a bigger one, I definitely would not have gotten into these spots. Yeah, I'm hoping, curious, like we were talking about the Battle Shock and how it's going to directly be a huge benefit for Chaos Knights because they're a very Battle Shock intense army, where they thrive on giving out Battle Shock tests and Battle Shocking other units and things. So, Battleshock didn't have the best of mechanics in 10th, lacking, so it's comforting to see that it's getting some love, a lot of love, honestly. The fact that it's you know, the change in objective control is huge. Instead of Battleshock now, instead of changing the objective control to 0, which you could get around, it changes it to dash, which cannot be modified. So you can't really get around being Battleshocked. If you're Battleshocked, you have no objective control. So what's up, Bueller? So we're looking forward to seeing how it plays out once I get my copy of the rules, which I could download and read, which I might do. But the points cost is where we're going to see the biggest change on things. See how it affects stuff. Yeah, it was hard. So watching 4 games of Necromunda get played around me, I was like, man, don't have a Necromunda gang. I don't need another Warhammer project right now. So. Oh, it did. But the hang-up is the box set doesn't have the gang, any gangs I would want. So, absolutely did I mean, I the Necromunda box set. Let's see, so many games going on around me in the league and all the stuff that they were doing with it. Yep. But that is absolutely going to be happening with once Armageddon hits. Oh yeah, it's gonna be the Pterodon turquoise. Yeah, Pterodon turquoise. This is the color. So, absolutely. And how the green one turned out, even though I messed up on the primary. So, I'll make this one turn out even better if I do it right. Which I will. I did. I did the primary right. So. Oh, excuse me. I don't know if I paint smoothly or what, but I had another person ask me if I used an airbrush on my stuff. And I'm like, no, not at all. I didn't think my stuff was that smooth. Cake is caking. Huh?
Not that I'm gonna be able to finish it. You don't have to finish it. Yeah, not that good. Not much cake.
Jesus. Yeah. You want to say this?
No.
Can't wait. Juliet. He's just looking at me like, oh, looks at you. That was the creepiest smile.
I have cake. Welcome to the change in stream direction at the moment. We've gone from miniature painting to Fat Bastard Eats Cake. Man, that's a solid cake though. That's pretty real to me. Here's fantastic cake from a place called Paris Baguette. They might have this place out by you, Eli. Paris Baguette. We usually find them in H Marts. Their chocolate chiffon cake, fantastic. Nice. I once been at the H Mart out here for a while. We just hadn't really gone much. Current effects. Hey, hon, can you grab the plate? Yeah, they are really, really good. I fully. Thank you. I don't know why have we just never actually just stopped there or what, but
You left crumbs.
I did leave crumbs. Oh. I stopped there for wifey's birthday and picked up that double chocolate, or maybe just chocolate chiffon, the chocolate chiffon cake that we had there. And daughter was all for it and liked it a lot more than other cakes she's had in the past. So, oh goodness, we got a report card back. Oh, yeah, and there was much reason to celebrate. So, another cake was needed. Yeah. 3.5 GPA on the honors roll, so. A's in all the classes she likes, B's in all the classes she didn't like, so. Better than I ever did. High honor roll, sorry. Yeah. So you really put forth a lot of effort. There is a long list of delicious Asian bakeries, isn't that? Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so that's not worry too much about up there because that's most of the dry brushing for the chassis done. A little spots here and there. So I don't have to worry too much about getting in the nooks and crannies because this is shaded areas. throw things. And let's get on to dry brushing weaponry. Chocolate vibrations. It's the name of a bad porn, I think. No, I haven't taken a sip of the whiskey in a moment. I will in a second. That's that. Let's do this little guy first. It's too dry. Oh, good gravy. Not an abominant rampager. Yeah, I'm currently working on my night rampager. He is very custom. And I just finished doing the contrasting yesterday, and now I'm doing dry brushing on the chassis at the moment. I'll be doing the armor plates next. And then there's the... Oh, goodness. There's going to be a lot of that tonight. This is the Slaughter Claw Reaper Chainsword thingy.
Death to the foul warriors of chaos.
Yeah, that's very nice. Here. Seems... bit messy. It is a bit messy. It's not as dry as I want. There we go. So I'm just doing some dry brush to get some detail up. Claw is going to be such a pain in the ass to paint. And I have no one to blame but myself. So if you're here and you want to chat, let me know what you're working on. Or what your thoughts and about 11th are. The pre-order went live, and I was at the Warmer store today, and there was much discussion about detachments and hopes for detachment point values, and specifically with the Cast Knights, because there was another Cast Knight player who wanted to ask me about how I got the weathered and dirty look on my stuff, because that's the kind of vibe I'm running with right now for the Cast Knights. So I'm going to work on that.
Mondo Cat rated your channel with 4 viewers.
Oh, there, Mondo Cat. How you doing, lovely lady? Painting a big ass Cast Knight. What were you streaming, Amazing Human? What are you playing? I saw the notification, but I didn't catch what it was. I was out. Lobotomy Corporation? I haven't heard of that one. I'm stuck streaming this till I beat it. Alright, fair enough. Oh, goodness. Alright, that's that. So, salute to you. Oh. What kind of game is it? I need to clean this brush real quick. SAP hurting the game. Okay. Try to track all your SCPs. Damn. That's a good amount of hours. That's fair. Let's back up a bit. I have now painted my hand a creative color of silver. Alright, so. Itchy, itchy, itchy. Now, for the next bit, we are going to get the large dry brush. I'm not messing up my sponge, am I? Nope. Okay, good. It's a decent amount of hours. Yeah. So I have over here, it's doing a bunch of different Warhammer subreddit images on Cycle. And a few of those pictures look a little questionable. So I think it's up there. It's a little weird. Blame the Warhammer subreddits. So how many more hours do you think you have on that, Mondo? Does that make a giant mess? Okay. Alright, now I've successfully cleaned that. So, next up is the going to dry brush the black primer to items. Once I got all of those, so it's going to be the carapace, the shoulder armor, the claw cover, and this assorted armor bits. Though this one, I'm not sure.
For the
This one.
Emperor!
Oh, Lula Cam, alright. There she is, being a Lula. Oh, I see paw twitching. My front paw was moving. She was dreaming a bunch last night during stream. She had full on twitchies. I gotta decide how I want to dry brush this one. Because I did a lot of custom work in this shield, so I'm not sure how I want to approach this. Though I do want to, I need to get in there. You can kind of get hints of green. There's a little bit where the primer didn't reach, so I need to touch it up with black paint first. So, okay. So anyway, so we got all this armor pieces, varying bits to dry brush, while trying not to dry brush the two demons, because they get a separate dry brush. There's a lot of steps to these guys. Let's see, can I get this everywhere I need to go? hit it with the big brush first, because it's just going to make this go by faster. Almost forgot to get the brush wet. Despite the fact that it's a term dry brush, you get your brush ever so slightly wet. Just a little damp. BK Marine. I don't think you guys can see the BK Marine, but I can see the BK Marine. Okay, so 4 more. You can do it. You can get your Necrons done. So now this, for these armor plates, I didn't have that. I'm going to go heavy on the dry brush. Get a heavy coat because these are going to be contrasted over with a turquoise color. So it can be tedious. It can be very tedious. Alright. So that actually looks really good right there. Okay. Go with a heavy, heavy dry brush. Heavy dry brush coat on the armor plates. Specifically this bit's in here. So it captures lots of that turquoise color. It's going to shine right through on that. That should look pretty fucking good. Almost painting it completely. Next plate. Wipe a bit off there. Check it on my hand. Looks good. Heat it up. Nice. See that kind of scratched look. Now I can't forget the crotch plate. Remember, kids, when you use sports, you should always wear your protective crotch plates. Now, yeah, here. Don't know where that's coming from, but whatever. Paint over here. Checking my hand. Looks good. And we go on with a heavy, heavy, heavy dry brush coat. And we slap it down to the ground. Bah! A little bit on this edge, because that's an edge there. Of course, that's an edge, idiot. That's a stupid statement. It's an edge you'll see. That's what I meant. Brain is not braining that brain much, right, brain? So, I mean, you know what helps you think more? Whiskey. That's what helps me think. Refresh the paint. onto the claw. Claws are armor plate. I'm going to keep this in the same motion, same direction. There we go. Nice. Get those edges. Alright, so it's the lower leg plates. Looks good. Lower leg plates. Get stabbed by this fucker. Damn, it's pokey as shit. It's freaking sticking to my hand. Get plus it. You're pokey, motherfuckers. Pokey, I say. It's almost just biggest piece left. Yeah, the Poke Knight. Giggity giggity. Do you like having Poke Knights? Yeah. Alright. Stab me again. Shoulder plates next. Need to refresh the paint though. This one I'm gonna have to change direction in a few ways to make it get where I need it to get. Honestly, I might need to switch to a smaller brush for up in there. Ah, I got it. There we go. Get the bloodletter relatively clean. That's good. About to do a bit of a Elmer's glue hand cleaning in a moment. Okay. You have to get in there with a smaller brush. No ifs, ands, or buts. So, alright. I'll go back at it. Love it when a plan comes together. Onto the big paint, big piece. Again, with a heavy dry brush on this so I can get the carapace in that lovely turquoise shine. Because it will be Should look really good with that turquoise on there. It's a real dark turquoise too at this point. A little bit more. See you doing emojis over in the YouTubes. Break time. Let's break it down. Alright. Amazon dry brushing. So, let it soak for a moment. Do a quick thing I know to do. Something I learned ages ago that if you use Elmer's glue, it can be a good hand cleaner in a pinch. Yeah, it's just peeling that stuff right off. Get over a trash can for a moment. Cleaning my hands. Yes, I've had it here the whole time. I've been using it quite regularly. Yep. Yeah, it's a cotton 4K. If you need it back, you can grab it. All I'm using it for is water, nothing else. I swear this worked better when I was younger. Okay. Not too terribly caught then. Just a little caught. Still good, still good. All right. Most of it's been removed. You can get the rest when I wash. Don't know what that spill is. There's all kinds of creative spills and stains on this mat already. All right. So, if silver goes away, I'm going to need to clean up this brush because I like my large dry brush and I don't want it to get ruined by having paint dry in it. Dry brushes get beat up, so I'll try and take care of them as best I can. That was really stupid. I took the bottom half of that, put that into the lid instead of putting the lid on top of it. Those reasons. Alright, so I do need to use a little bit of the small dry brush. I don't know why I put the Rune Fang away. Get in a few spots that I want to get to. So we're going to take a little bit of the Rune Fang from here. It's mainly back in here underneath on this blood letter. Pieces in there behind these spiky bits that are really hard to get to. That if I don't put the silver down, the contrast color is going to get lost. So, okay. And then there was a little piece over here. We're almost done with the dry brushing, which is really pretty quick. Again, I have to do to make sure there's silver in all the spots where I want the contrast color to shine. And that seems to be that. That's that. Yeah, actually wasn't that bad. An hour for dry brushing on did the whole chassis and all the armor plates. The only thing I didn't do is the shield, which I'll work on that in a bit, but it's going to require some additional stuff. So, yeah, it's a little bit of dry paint is hard to get off. So, there we go. Pigment brush. To ooh, my water's sparkly. Hey, hen, can you come help me with a water swap? My water's very sparkly. It's leaving sparkles on my brushes. Yes, please. If you could use some fresh water. For the miniature, not for me. That's a creative cloud of sparkly goop. Sparkle soup. That's what I'm calling that. Sparkle soup. Hmm? Yeah, it's a little dirty. That is. Thank you. It's very full.
As it should be.
No. I like it with room to not splash stuff. Alright. Let's not leave the sparkles on the brush. That's a huge improvement. Anywho, so what we're going to be doing now is, I think, just to have some fun before I really get into the nitty gritty of doing lots of detail work on that chassis there. I want to do some of the armor plates with the Pterodon turquoise. And then we'll see how this comes out. There's a little more mixing. Grr. So, now unfortunately this is already open, so it's going to make the satisfying ripping sound. Goodness. So, on to the, would be a good piece to start. Let's start with this headpiece. Kind of like it's a. So we're gonna take the Pterodon turquoise, and slap that on. This should be a beautiful, shiny, turquoisey color over the dry brushed Rune Fang silver. Let the turquoise get into the nooks and crannies and get a little bit
Death
dark.
to the foul warriors of
Give me a
chaos.
second. Give me a second. Should have used some sticky tack and a handle for this, but lesson learned. I think it'll be turquoise. So yeah, if you're watching, you want to see, follow along off stream. Follow me on Blue Sky. I post daily updates for my hobby streak, which is the working on these models. So that is the turquoise color. I think that is very nice. As a point of reference, let's back this up. Here it is next to the green on the night. So it's definitely darker. It's definitely be a different color. So you can see it like right there. Yeah, it definitely looks good. Fucker, stop stabbing me. Yep, that turquoise is a nice color. Alright, so let's keep mucking along. Let's do some of these armor plates. Especially when I do the shading on this and decals. Ooh, what color decals should I use? I think white. Black might finally work on this, actually. Might be lost, though. To look at the slide transfer decals I want to use. But yeah, that just looks... I love the shiny carapace. Look at that. So yeah, that's... I got better words. This is a slap chop on this for the base and the colors here. Because I did a heavy dry brush with the silver. And like I could have done a white dry brush, but the silver adds that nice metallic sheen that really helps, I think, give this kind of that carapace kind of bug beetle shell. I can believe that. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. It's advanced black and white color masking techniques. Which it absolutely is not, but it's the metallic dry brush is what brings out this turquoise. I mean, it's a gorgeous color to begin with, but giving it that metallic shine, kind of metal flake sparkle, really makes it pop. So I'm very pleased I grabbed this color too. It's funny because this is the most vicious of the knights. Like, he's the melee combat heavy, that melee focused knight. So for it to have this like delightfully soft color, be a good contrast with the reds and the blood colors that are going to be piled on it. Ooh, nice Terminator captain. It's a Blood Ravens Terminator captain. Old Terminator squad of Blood Ravens. But yeah. So that's where. The only one I'm not sure.
Subscribed to your channel for 1 month.
Oh, hello, Scarecrows. Thank you for the subscription. You hate ads. That's fair. I hate ads too. That's why I subscribe to a handful of people. Well, thank you very much. That is very kind of you, sir. I am just finished doing the dry brushing on this, on all the armor and everything for the first hour. Now I'm into hitting it with the contrast paint to get this beautiful turquoise metal sheen. And yeah, new car batteries are fucking expensive. Especially if you go with like an AGM matte battery. But an AGM battery will last longer. Just, they're expensive. Yeah, that's I was at $250 when I replaced the battery, and I went through Costco. I think it was around $250 for the battery on my car. Well, the 12-volt battery in my car. Look at that turquoise. That color is gorgeous. I'm loving this turquoise color. It's just like I like the inconsistency of how it flows. It's only $400, Demon Slayer? I think I work too much in the automotive industry. And O'Reilly's. I hate the fact that I'm... That's bad that I can do an educated guess and be reasonably accurate on a price. It's like I did that stuff for a long fucking time. Which I did. Anywho, but yeah, this turquoise is... Oh, I believe it. I worked... before I moved... I used to be a night manager of an auto parts store in Southern California. It was CSK Auto, also known as Kragen at the time. O'Reilly's bought them. So That's why I have a pretty good idea on how things, like O'Reilly's and such. But yeah, the variance and the tones and stuff on this turquoise. It's just, I'm gonna use this color for other shit. I can't not. This color's too damn nice. You have, and that's why you're very familiar with the predatory ways of the Snap-on truck. When I was working at the motorcycle dealership, one of our chief Indian mechanics, I swear to you, that guy had 200 or 300 grand in Snap-on, and he was so not even elbow deep. He was fucking neck deep in the Kool-Aid. It was like, Jesus fuck. Well, realistically, there's a lot of things that could be a bidet if you're brave enough. All depends on the pressure you want to use and how much you need to clean. But yeah, this turquoise is quickly becoming one of my favorite colors. Just what I can do with this, thinking. To figure out what else I can use this on, though. Ooh, I could use this on the armatures. The other two War Dogs I gotta build. But your tools will be so warm and cozy in their fancy, fancy boxes. I have a nice toolbox in the garage, but it's from Harbor Freight. That way it was reasonably priced. That was a wonderful birthday gift. I quite enjoy that. But yeah. Shoulder plate. Do you want to use this color for anything, hun? If you ever want to use colors. Yeah. The icon stuff is nice. A toolbox from a tool truck, and because Snap-on comes by in a truck. You don't really go to a snore. You don't go to a store to buy Snap-on. Snore, what the fuck? Mental issues today. Snore, you don't go to a snore. They have those too. And Snap-on probably sells them for the price of the truck. Tecton. Okay. I will look into those. I will eventually be expanding my tools, but right now my current current money sink is what you're watching me do. Oh, Scarecrows, did you get your pre-order in if you're going to pre-order it for Armageddon? If you pre-order it, you get a fancy coin. Mind you, I'm a consumer whore, so I pre-ordered it. Fucker. Damn stabby bitches. That's fair. Duh, you just talked about having, to buy a shitload of money on a battery. That's fair. That's solid. Warranties are a thing that being involved in industries like automotive and such, I got to see a lot of it. Like, a great example, there was a motorcycle brand when Harley was coming back into heavy swing years back, when their big revival came around, and Harley switched up the quality of their bikes and made them decent. Their stuff is decent quality. There was another brand that came back called Excelsior Henderson. They were another old motorcycle brand from early 1900s. They went out of business years back. They got brought back, and their bikes had an amazing warranty on them. I think it was like a 10-year warranty. It was fan-fucking-tastic warranty. The problem was the bikes were shit. So the warranty claims very quickly put them out of business again. And that's kind of a thing where warranty claims on poor quality products will put you under. Saw that a bunch with other brands and stuff, like, if the quality of the product is not there to support the warranty, your warranty claims will put you under. So, for a company to honor their good warranty, that's really good. Oh, and Scarecrows, you don't have to worry about doing the pre-order. There was no shortage of. Thankfully, GW managed the pre-order system very well, and they have more than ample inventory. So there's not going to be any bullshit scalping or anything like that if you want to get the Armageddon box set. The store I go to has 36 copies ready for store inventory already. So he can't sell them yet, but he's like, I got them already. So they're already stocking up pretty heavily. A lot of the online retailers and stuff that ran out, the discount retailers that ran out quickly, there ain't nothing wrong with being a tool nerd. Quality tools. Take care of your tools and they will take care of you. I love good tools. That's why I have like high quality brushes and stuff like that. But anyway, GW managed the system very well to combat scalpers. They made enough inventory of the Armageddon box set so that there's no shortage. And then in a surprise, today they announced that the next stuff going to be available for pre-order is all the components individually, which people were not expecting that for like a couple months, or maybe a month or so later, but they did it today. It's all good. But they so you can get the rule book, the mission decks, the campaign deck, all that stuff individually. I think starting next week, if you want. But yeah. Well, that's if you can download the rules for free. You can actually go to Warhammer Community and download the rules right now. It doesn't have the mission decks and stuff. But if you got multiple friends getting it, then just use their mission deck. But yeah, you can get the rules right now for free. Which is another like, hey, that's fucking nice. What the shit, GW? So anyway, look, this is dried. Look at that. Look at me throw this. Bloop. Get in there. Seal this up before I do the carapace. Yep, man, that's where we're at. Look at this dry now. Don't give me
Death
those
to the
eyes.
foul warriors of chaos.
Don't give me those eyes. She's giving me those eyes. Lula. So the direction she's looking right now, she's looking at me. Hi, puppy. Hi. Hi, Lula. Do you have ears? You do have ears. Oh, they went away. Where'd your ears go? Oh, over there? Okay. We're gonna get comfy in our pile of blankets. Hey, you gotta watch her get comfy. Or not. Flop down in shrimp mode. Alright, but anyway. Sorry, distracted by dog. Feeling very squirrelish at the moment. That dried looks really good. I'm absolutely digging this. Now, the question I'm wondering. So, like on this piece here, focus in. I can bump that down. That's more accurate. So, this piece here, now the real question is the trim. Do I run this with a gold trim? Like all my knights, my big knights so far have had gold trims. Gold will look good, but I think silver might look really nice. That's a real tough, that's going to be a tough one. What color do I want the trim to be? I'm thinking I might run silver on this one. Or should I run with a color? Oh, shit, puppy. Is this true? Silver? Okay. Well, silver will be. I could run with, ooh. Grey Knight Steel. This is a bluish silver. This is a silver with a bluish tint. Like that. Swatch it. So that silver there is Runefang Steel. I mean, maybe. The light's blasting it out. Or you meant on the piece itself. Oh, okay. He said swatch, Mr. Swatching. I mean, I can always paint over stuff, so. Hello, Jay. What about the bronze copper? That's the... How are you doing this evening, sir? Curious about the copper. Alright, let's run with... we're swatching. We've got a few options here. We got this dark bronze color, which I absolutely love. It wasn't Gehenna's gold, it was Balthazar gold. Ooh, I'm kind of liking this. What about... Let's get all the way in here. Focus. What about the dark bronze against the teal? Somewhere lurking while making dinner. Lurk away, sir. Good. That bronze. I was looking at potentially Balthazar Gold, which is kind of this rose goldish, more than Gehenna's. It's more. It's a darker. I've used it a bit on. I think actually this might be the one. Let's run this over here. Well, I'm thinking definitely going to be it. What about that? Ooh, wait, I got an idea. Now you can see the colors. So there's the dark bronze, which I like, but I'm thinking this lighter bronze here really comes across. Yeah, that one. Okay. So that is Balthazar Gold. That's the name of that color. Huh. That's a neat thing. That's Balthazar Gold. So that's what I'm going to use for the trim. All right. Yay! My color card, my white balance card. I'll use the fucking things. Alright, so we're running with... Alright, so back on the last bit of turquoising. Just going to be on this carapace here. Oh, excuse me. The whiskey's gone. Alright. Okay. Snag one. Ow. Don't poke me. Pain in the ass. You can absolutely order one. It would be a business expense, hun. See no reason not to. Yeah, this turquoise color is really, really good. And then especially with the red, as the bright red is going to pop on this. Oh, that's going to be nice. So what you working on tonight, Scarecrows? You know, Jay's making dinner, so he's working on dinner. Demon Slayer's working on Necrons. And wife might be working on her secret project. Or she's taking a break from I'm not sure which. Or she's browsing color cubes. Is it like a companion cube? It's your companion cube. All right. There's 6 intercessors. Started 4 last 4. I haven't put arms and heads on them yet. It's not for the night. That's fair. And then are those the intercessors from like just the generic intercessor kit? The ones that are like frighteningly customizable? Or those intercessors you got from, or were they the intercessors in the Combat Patrol? I don't think the Combat Patrol came with intercessors, though. So Space Wolves units found them. Very nice. There are some great stuff on Etsy. If you wanted official, like Space Wolf or stuff. Nice. That's the standard intercessors. Those are the very customizable. They're not specifically Space Wolf. They're just Space Marine. Uh-oh. What'd you find? Parts for Bjorn. Stormwolf. I don't remember what that is off the top of my head. Oh, okay. That's fair. Well, Flyers are definitely getting changes and buffs in 11th, so... Because things that have the fly keyword now got a huge buff. With anything that has the fly keyword, you just sacrifice 2 inches of movement to go over any piece of terrain. So you're, guys with jump packs could go through any terrain now. Same with anything that has the fly, like a speeder, stuff like that. So that was a huge buff. So Flyers, I haven't read the full rules to see if Flyers are how much back they're in, but they didn't get much love in 10th, unfortunately. But it seems to be a thing that they're pushing on, is that stuff that was a little neglected in 10th, or might have been totally neglected in 10th, are definitely getting love in 11th. Like Battle Shock. Battle Shock was kind of meh and not really worth it in 10th. Battle Shock is huge in 11th. What's up, Jersey? Yeah. I was at the store today. We were talking with the manager of my local store about the stuff going on in 11th. And this turquoise this is fantastic. I love this color. You sit there. You are a good color. This guy's going to be awesome. I'm really digging how this one is going to come out. So yeah, we're done with... you can turn that way so I can look at you from behind. Also... Alright, so... Now that my water is sufficiently turquoise, clean this brush off. Something fierce. Just a little bit more washing. Also, you say also, which is the alsoing. So, I know I'm new to 4K, but whatever. I ask good people around me. Oh, that's fucking fantastic. Well, I told you got into... You had said that maybe you got into 40K at the wrong time, and I'm like, no, you got into 40K at the right time because it's a new edition. Everything is new to everybody. You're going to be on... And that's... So, Scarecrows, kind of an interesting thing. I like to feel that I'm becoming friends, not just because I spend money. Friends with the manager at the GW store I hit up all the time. Guy's a good human. We have a lot of similarities, a lot of things in common. But we talk about stuff outside of Warhammer while we're there. And the Anti-Fly 2 is good. That means you shoot down other flyers on a 2-up. But anyway, we talk about a lot of things that are Skull Crusher Brass. So anyway, a lot of things that you talk about outside of just Warhammer. One is kind of how the company treats them, and he said that knowledge of the hobby isn't a huge factor in their hiring, because they view that they can teach anyone the hobby. They can teach anyone how to paint. Like when you get new models in for the store to demo, there's very strict step-by-step instructions on how to paint them the exact way they need to be painted. Things like that. Knowing the hobby isn't that important to them as much as how you handle managing inventory and things like that, and just your customer service capabilities. Anyone can learn the hobby, and anyone can manage a store, a GW store, just by being a decent person, being good with folks, encouraging people that are new. Like, if not for the fact that I have a decent job and things like that, I could absolutely manage one of those stores without even thinking about it. But it's learning the hobby, that's the easy part. As long as you stay positive and encouraging and give people a place to, hey, before I do brass, I need to do Black Templars. Give people a place to go back and want to go back and enjoy playing and gaming and things. That's really what matters. You got to, so if you're going to run the Warhammer section, tell people flat out, there was tons of Necromunda games going on today at the Warhammer store. There was 4 at one time going on. And even the manager there was like, look, guys, Necromunda is very complex. He's like, I don't know all the rules, flat out. He's like, I'll help you, and we'll help you find everything, but I don't know all the ins and outs of Necromunda. And everyone's fine with that. Like, okay. Even though he's the manager of the store, no one was like, oh, you better know all your rules. No. He was there encouraging people to play, and they were looking up what they needed. There were questions, and he was able to help find the rules and resolve them. So, knowing every rule in and out, that doesn't matter. So, it's encourage being a good person and encouraging folks to enjoy the hobby. That's what matters. So right now what I'm doing is I'm now, in all my nights, all these like hydraulic parts and stuff, I use a Black Templars Contrast, which is a dark black contrast paint, and paint them all black. I also do that on all the piping and tubes and stuff as a base for it. So, like all these hydraulics, all these power lines and stuff, except for the ones up under here. Those I've consistently done just like a random set of colors with a contrast paint. The reason I'm using contrast paint is that it's watered down and it's a little translucent, so it allows a bit of the dry brushing and the kind of imperfections underneath to shine through and give it a little more depth and character to it. This is one of my most used contrast colors, is Black Templars. So it's a nice black. It's very dark grays. But it'll allow the shiniest bits of the silver dry brushing to shine through. So that's what I want. And while all my nights are different colors, different themes and stuff, I do have consistencies in items and trim pieces and things. All of my skulls and a lot of the trim and highlighted bits are... Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's really, really easy. The way to do it is using Lamium Medium is the best and most appropriate way to do it. You can do it with just water too, though. I don't bother with it making my own really, only because I want consistency. And GW's mixing is going to be way more consistent than mine. So contrast paints, shades, and that kind of stuff didn't exist if you go back a ways. Old person time. You used to have two paints. Your main color and your main color. That was it. And you could make a wash by adding water to it. Or a medium. And you would wash it down. Sometimes they'd have, and then they expanded into having washes. And then GW realized that there is a market for folks that don't want to mix, right here, their stuff. They just want to have it pre-watered down. So thus they did the whole bases, layers, contrast, shades, and then even airs. Which air is just a great example. Air paints, which is meant for airbrushes, like this one here, this Caliban green. All this is a watered down Caliban green. Cut with a medium to make it that way. So, I used to do it, but I am two things. I'm a bit lazy and I like consistency. So, if I can have them pre-mix it and be the same consistency, I'm going to do that. Because that way I don't, oh, I did too much this one. It's not as dark as it was last time. We used to use washes on your paints all the time. But that was just a watered down or thinned out version of the paint. So yeah, I have made my own. I actively choose not to. But that is just me. But yeah, the Scarecrow, I'm excited for you. Learning the game, it's fun. There's, I'm sure you've seen them, but 40K in 40 minutes. One of the best YouTube channels for actual plays there is. One, they're enjoyable. They're good characters. They're fun people. Thank you. As I told you, Play on Tabletop. I have their dice. I bought a set of the Play on Tabletop dice just because look, these guys are awesome. I want to support them. I'm waiting for them to come out with an 11th edition updated like they have this thing that has all your measurement sticks and all this kind of stuff, and as soon as they come out with one updated for 11th, I'm probably going to snag it because again, they're awesome people. One of the followers on here knows them. So, I can't... War Mistress, I think. She's a streamer, and she knows JT, the voice. She's like friends with him. And no, they're just decent humans, so that's where I love it. But they're the best for... They're realistically the best of... I think old school hits a certain point, Jay, where it doesn't matter. We're just... Like antique cars. 25 years and older is an antique vehicle. It doesn't matter if it's 100 years old or 50 years old. It's an antique vehicle at 25. So we'll count you in that one. You're in with us in the old school. But no, I was telling you yesterday, Demon Slayer, about the. I think so. All right, Jay. So is it Maiar that are the originals from Middle Earth? Maiar, the Valar. God, we're going outside of my total knowledge base. Jersey, you're one of the youngins. I think it's Maiar. Like Ungoliant. Grond. Sorry. Maiar? I know Jay knows this. Because, thanks, hon. Okay. I was pretty sure it was Meyer, but I couldn't remember because I didn't think it was Valier. I mean, I trust you, Jay, on that knowledge base, so. So I can set it right and straight on till morning. Why are you rooting for the bad guys? Just because Peter Pan was all about kidnapping people. And when they grow up, they become pirates because they wanted to go home. Alright, so we get the Black Templars and spots. But I made that one tilt. Oopsie. No, I think that's all. Really? Is that all? Oh, there was more tubes on the that guy. That's why. Huh. I just noticed a spot I missed on that. Touch that up. Probably don't watch the movies. Fair enough. You know, you've watched the movies more than me. So, yeah. I'm running with that. Not everyone here can be Stephen Colbert. Party on, Wayne. Alright, so that's all of those. And the chains I will be... Oh, that was so good when they... I can't remember who it was that was trying to challenge him. That was a good one. Alright, so I got the contrast colors in. So, reason I'm like, there seems to be something missing, it's because there's more of these tubes and stuff on this guy here, like on the back there, than there were on this one. Different model, though. This is... Oh, I can see him over in the face cam. This one here is based off of the Knight Paladin? Defender. Excuse me. So, different chassis. Alright, so now we're on to the detailing. Dun, dun, dun. Fucking hell. Yep. Alright. Small brush time. So we switch over to a smaller brush. Ooh, I like that Imperial Guard over there. Good looking card. Kind of looking at that. And I like having the Warhammer stuff flash up on the screen there. So a lot of these, on all my Kniggets, all these symbols and stuff, I run with Skull Crusher brass. So like all these logos, these little things here. Why? I like the look. That's really it. Little joints and bits there. That's nothing more than that. Rawr. So, pardon me. So we get out the Skull Crusher brass, which is a good color. Let's mix it up. Oh, I forgot to tell you, hon. Someone bought Eric one of these paint mixers for the store. Ooh, Howling Banshees. Those are newer ones. Oh, Striking Scorpions and Wraithguard. He too has one of the boobies. Alright, so let's get into and just putting circles again. Why? Just I like the way they look. It adds a little break in the kind of the color, gives a little freshen. Alright, garlic bread for pulled pork sandwiches. I could do that next week when I do groceries, because they usually have the pulled pork, the store-made pulled pork. Could get some garlic bread and do that for sandwiches. Do you remember talking? Yes, I did. The corpse starch now with the Emperor's Vegemite. I absolutely did. We talked about that. So we're going to look into making that as a sticker. No idea, Scarecrow, but it came from yesterday when I was talking about a Dark Angel's chaplain delivering the Emperor's Vengeance on 2 wheels. Demon Slayer heard it as the Emperor's Vegemite on 2 wheels. Or Emperor's Vegemite, which I stated, you know, that might be a mistranslation. Maybe it was supposed to be Vegemite. You know, it is tens of thousands of years and, you know, lots of fuck-ups. Yeah, maybe it was supposed to be Vegemite. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be Vengeance. Maybe chaos wouldn't have happened if they had just delivered them some Vegemite. Korn wouldn't be so angry if he had a nice snack. Has anyone thought to give the Chaos God Korn a Snickers? That's the real question. You know, you're not yourself when you're hungry statement. Maybe if he just had a Snickers bar. Well, Snickers are a great example of excess. I don't know what that clip is, but did I do this on this guy? Okay, as an Orc and Squid comic, we'll roll and run with that. Like those little commercials of Betty White. Oh, the Vegemite conversation. I did save the clip. That was one of the things I clipped. I did. Did I do it on the back? I did do it on the back. Okay, so. Fast. 54. Take a moment here in a second. Just take a quick pause. That's a Skull Crusher brass, but not like a thick coat. Kind of want the imperfections to shine through a little bit underneath. Since metallic contrast don't work because the metal flake would settle at the bottom of the liquid. So that's why there aren't metallic contrast paints. Oh no, I know what it is, hon. The Orc and Squid comic. We'll talk tonight. I have an idea for the "You're Not You When You're Hungry" thing. So we'll work on that tonight. But yeah, we're always hoping to get into Adepticon. Love to have, man, if I have a booth up there, whoo-wee. That would be a blast. Okay, so I'll take a moment. I need a quick break. Enter. All right, see you in a few, Jay. When is this? The 14th. Oh yeah, I got 7 days. Okay. I think I gotta do a visit. Oh, here we go. Okey-dokes. Okey-dokes. Back on to painting up these joints. Realistically, there's not too much more on the legs I do, other than a bit of a wash, shade. Same saying wash because that's what they used to be called. A bit of a shade. You use like Argex Earth Shade, which is like Nuln Oil but a little more brown. That adds just a bit more depth to it. So there isn't too much like more that once for the legs and the chassis. Though this one's got these chains, so I'm gonna have to paint up those chains because this one's different. Honestly, now I gotta think of. So I've got this knight here, a Rampager. The next, I have one more big knight to build, and then I've got two more small ones to make as well. Two more I picked up after my giant box of Warhounds. Boy, or doggies. Brain stopped on that. But the next big knight to build is very custom as well. I've already got some leg extensions printed. I've got a custom head made for it. I've got we could do that there. It'd be kind of fun too. A waist extension to make it really tall, because it is supposed to be the biggest of the group. Knight Tyrants are the big stompy boys. So he is definitely gonna be more custom. but I gotta think of what color. Because purple turned out really good for the Knight Abominant. I will give him that. 1,500 points. I'll buy him for a bit. They're clipping, trimming, and gluing. That's fair. 1,500 is a solid number. That'll be that's a good game. And it gives you some flexibility for 1,000 point lists. And also, the points are all going to be changing very soon. So we'll see where you actually end up. You might end up having a lot more than 1,500. So once they come out with the new points, which should be soon, hopefully. Now, Tucker. We'll see where that ends up, because like I'm genuinely curious. Like there's lick. I don't know where that's coming out right now. There is the possibility that a lot of the heavy shooting stuff's going to go down in points, which could mean that knights might get cheaper, which would be great if I could adjust it so I could field 4 big ones or maybe more war dogs. 45 minis built in 2 weeks. That is, you are flying through it, sir. Flying through your construction process. But I gotta think of what colors I want to run on the Knight Tyrant. I have ideas for how I want the base to be.
For the Emperor!
Lula Cam says Lula sleepy. There's the Lula. Oh, stretchy. Oh, snuggle. Okay. But, I gotta figure out for the Knight Tyrant. I've got ideas on what I want to do for the base. I've got, nothing is as tired as a pitbull who did nothing all day. Look how tired that pupper is. But for my Knight Tyrant, I've got this spool of chain that I'm going to be using a lot of. I'm going to wrap a lot of chain around it. I want to do chain, and this is where it's going to get creative. I want to do chains coming from the base to the top, like it's being like it's someone tried to chain it to the ground. It's kind of where I want to do with it on the base. The Bloodletters, the demons, I'm going to have 3 across the top. It's going to have the banner bearer in the middle and 2 on either side of the with the musicians. I'm sure they just have like horns. So, but I don't know what color to do it. So I will have to figure that out. I'm not sure. What do I want it to be color-wise? Like, if I look at maybe another, do I have another contrast I could run with? Like I have this Doomfire Magenta, and the blood might get lost in this. So ooh, actually, this. I think this, Sermon Blue. I'm looking at my other contrasts over here. I'm thinking I might run this. I'll experiment. That's a good one. So I've got green, I've got purple, I'll have the turquoise now. So maybe that nice rich blue contrast. Anyway, so I've got that one's gonna have I'm gonna have a lot of work to do with figuring out the chains and how I want to make it look. And like I thought about, you know, gluing the chains, planning the chains and gluing them on last after it's painted, which would be the easiest thing, but I don't like the loose chains. Only because if they rattle around, then they'll eventually like scrape and knock things off or chip paint or just damage the paint on it. Or get caught, or, you know, there's too much. Like these chains, I put super glue, I coated them with super glue so that they're firm. They don't, you know, these chains don't wobble. So, that is stampy is what that is. So I have to figure out a way to do that. And also, if I just glue the chains on loosely at the end, I won't be able to age the chains. Like these chains are going to be gramified up a bit to match with the rest of the night. So this is the challenges I'll be figuring out for the last big night I have at the moment. And it should be one, I think it'll be a really nice centerpiece of a night. Because I want to chain, the armor is going to be chained onto it. It's going to have the, or I might just, instead of chaining the armor pieces, I could wrap the chains around like it's holding it to the ground, which is part of what I wanted to run with. So this is what I think about while I'm working on this one. Because I've already worked out how I want these guys to look. So now I'm trying to think of what to do with the next one. How to make it work. Trying to plan a little bit. Yeah, it's going to be, that Night Tyrant should be pretty, I think will be, especially because I'm also going to build up the base more. And the legs on that one are much more posable. The knee joints and stuff are separate. So, especially with the additional knee joints that I have for it, these additional leg joints I have here, that'll be on that one. That will really allow some posability. So I was hoping to do is to build up like a kind of like it's stepping up onto something. And I even thought about sinking one foot into the ice. Actually, that'd be pretty slick. Like if I can sink 1 foot into the ice, and that's where I have to think of how I would do that. Where it's coming out of the ice and then the chains would be coming out from the ice as well. How can I do that? That's going to be the real question now. It wouldn't be a risky resin pour. I would just need to, I mean, because I've got I haven't had any leaks in the past 4 of these since I figured out how to tape it properly and how much to use. I haven't had any resin leaking. I think if I were to do it, if I were to almost let the resin harden a little bit first so it's a little thicker. I think that'd be the way to do it, because then I could control it more and get it into position better. Alright, that looks good. So I got all the Skull Crusher brass on that. And thankfully, I use this color a lot, so I got a spare. Right there. Okay, so next up, we take... So now, for all these knights... Grab this guy here. It's hard to... You can't... Well, me. There you go, you can see it there. Up under here, I have all these pipes colored. So... I'm going to do that and continue with... Ow. Continue with that. Why are they so fucking stabby today? I'd say at least 10. I mean, it wasn't... I don't think I've started 10, but I've at least killed off 10. Ooh, Gilly Billy Boy. Pieces of Carnifex. So, anyway, let's get onto the chains, which I use Leadbelcher. So I've gone through all the Warplock Bronze. Gone through that. Went through Cygor Brown. A couple of coppers. This is dirty. Burp. Or double digits. But yeah, it's... I definitely think the hobby streak... So the hobby streak is a thing on Blue Sky that I've been doing. Kind of like a challenge. Where I'm on day 59 or... No, 62, I think. Of... I think I'm on day 62. Can you check my Blue Sky, hon? While I clean. My last post was, I think that was 61 or 62. But anyway, it's a daily thing where I put up every day. I track down what day. Yesterday was 62, so today is 63. So I've had every day for the past 63 days, 62 days, 63 including today, I have painted or crafted. Done something with the hobby. And it has honestly helped me a lot get stuff done, and it's helped me a lot mentally as well. I'm absolutely enjoying the accomplishment of getting this shit done. That is still gunked up in there. Clean that one up in a minute. So that is where the Blue Skies, which is the only real social media I use other than Twitch, because it is social media now I think about that. That is where I am tracking my progress in that fashion. And it's good. It's kind of keeping me accountable. I'm making sure... Oh, yeah, duh. I primered this Leadbelcher. Like, why does it not look different than it was primered? Because it's the same fucking color, you idiot. I was running Iron Warriors on this. Brain mushy. Nah, brain is smooth today. Like, okay, here's one that's almost done. It's Leadbelcher, or Iron Warriors. In fact, if this doesn't liquefy, it's a nice vampire. Okay, yeah, that's the bottom of the pot. So, there's another one. That is, do I have a flashlight here? No, I don't. So, I got more Leadbelcher. Not Leadbelcher, Iron Warriors. I got Iron Warriors right here. So, here's another one. Mix. That's the other part. Like with the metallic, sometimes I can't see if it's the bottom of the pot because it has this little, that concave shape. I'm like, is that the bottom of the pot or is that paint in there? I'm not sure. Let's to see. And then sometimes it gets stuck to the boob via suction. Take that for what you will. Oh, wait. For the wife. That almost didn't work right. There we go. You're welcome, hon. But yeah, sometimes these spots get suctioned to the boob. Giggity giggity. Yes, I know. So let's run this Iron Warriors. It's all about the clanging. You heard that from the wife, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing more sexy than boob suction. Exactly. That tends to be the case. Now, the quantity of boob suction, or not the quantity, the pressure, how much negative bars of pressure we're going to be exhibiting, was not defined. I'll leave that one to you, as preferences may vary. Some people like a light boob suction. Some people want the equivalent of a Buick V8 strapped to a vacuum cleaner. You never know. What level of boob suction do you want? I prefer Dyson, please. These are the deep thoughts that cross through my head. Wonder how they got here. Try and find the map, then say fuck it and just head out in another direction. And run, skip the Christmas song. That's a quality today. Quality. Have a good night, Jay. Are you streaming? Or no, not on Sundays. Duh. Oops. Ow. I'm sorry. I knew that was going to be a clip. I don't know if I could put that one on YouTube. There's nothing really vulgar said. It's more just, yeah. Yeah, about that. The boom suction. You should warn your kids about it. They don't teach that kind of thing in high school anymore. Absolutely. Never define your train of thought. Let it flow. Let it go. Wonder how Disney can profit off of your train of thought. Painting chains. Lots of chains. How can I make the chains come out of the ice to hold the knife down? Man. That is definitely going to be a challenge. I am ruminating. Actually, using that word correctly too, hot diggity. Oh goodness. Excuse me. How to make the chains come out of the ice. So I'll need to, it's going to be a multi-step process. I need to secure the chains in the resin in the base. So what I will need to do then in that instance is I'm going to need to do the resin pour absolutely, almost absolutely last. I'm going to have the knight mounted to the base and then secure the chains where they need to be, secure the knight's foot where it needs to be, because if I'm going to have the foot in the ice as well, I'm going to have that all secured on there, and the resin is going to need to be the last thing poured. The last thing done. So that will be a little bit of a challenge. So I think what I'll need to do is pick up a measuring cup. Not one we have here, because I don't ever want to. Something with a spigot to pour the resin more precisely. I guess what I'm going to need to do. I need to mix the resin up in something and then use something like a measuring cup that has like the spigot end of it, so that I can pour the resin precisely where I need it to go, more precisely where it needs to go to make this happen. Though that shouldn't be too hard. I'm thinking about it. No, that's not going to be too bad. I'll be able to secure the knight's feet to the base first. I'll have the rest of the base done. Everything's ready except the resin. So that's how I'm going to do it. Okay. So then that'll be for the Knight Tyrant. So if you'd be so kind, amazing wife, to order a like one of those plastic measuring cups like we have in the kitchen for me. Nothing too expensive, but it needs to be decent, like at least maybe 2 cups size wise, because that way I get room to. Nope. I don't know what that song was, but it's being skipped. Hello there, Heretic Scott. How you doing? I'm making progress on this Knight Rampager today and planning out what my Knight Tyrant is going to be on the base. Because that one is going to be chained. I want that one to be chained heavily. So, I mean, really chained. I got 10 yards of chain. So that's the chain I used on these pieces here, but my Knight Tyrant, who's going to be taller and more custom, I'm going to make him, one foot's going to be, because those legs are very posable, so I'll be able to make it kind of stepping up and out. So I'm going to have it stepping out of the ice, and one foot's going to be on rock, one foot's going to be in the ice, and then I'm going to have chains coming out of the ice and of the rocks and things all up to the Tyrant itself. So I was thinking of how to do that. And how I'm going to be doing it is by getting the Knight fully assembled and ready and on the base first. Like all these other ones, I put them on the base as one of the very last things. I even do the resin pours for the base before I do mount the Knight to it. That one I'm going to have to do the resin pour after the Knight is mounted to it. So, wife's going to order me a... Yes, please. A clear one, please. And that way I can see it easier. It's pretty much going to be a one-shot thing for the most part, but it should look... I don't see why this won't work right. As long as the base is very securely taped up, which I've been doing for all of them. So we should be in good shape. Alright, so these are the chains. Right now I'm pointing on my chains and Iron Warriors here. Alright, that looks good. Chains are chained. The brand new pot of Iron Warriors. $9.24, not too bad, not too bad. Ooh, good looking Necrons. Gold. I like the gold and blue. So this is the miniatures painting. Oh, someone did an All Might thing. Thank you. Alright, so I have Doomfire Magenta, Stream Blue. Not the Emeralds. Dark Angels. No, I did Flesh Tears instead of Magenta. So now I'm going to use the contrasts to paint these like pipes and tubes and things that run into the head and the cockpit. So again, using the contrast so that stuff behind it can shine through. Okay. And honestly, I've been doing no real set pattern to these. Just as varying degrees of colors that I'm keeping it a little bit of variety. Just kind of like wires and stuff. Tubes. Tube kitties. Nice. Last week at the studio. I was looking pretty fucking amazing here, Rick Scott. I am envious of your studio. I have my corner. Though my corner is very happy. I do like my corner here. YouTube explosions. Okay, a little bit of a green one. Here, movement. Watch the puppy move. We're good at puppies being puppied. Look at my power. Absolutely. Organization is definitely going to be key. this in here. We got all these different colors in these pipes. Be really good. Hearing noises. Heard something. I don't think it was the puppers. Being puppers. Yeah, definitely okay. Do the resin pour last. It's gonna be, I think it's gonna look really awesome, honestly. Oh. I haven't used this one. I want to use that for something. Dreadful Visage Contrast. God, that Sermon Blue is a gorgeous. This is a gorgeous blue. Look at this blue. That's just a nice blue. There is, yeah, I did. I snagged a. It's called Dreadful Visage. It's another contrast, but it's kind of a lavendery. I'm not sure what to use it on. I snagged it because it looked nice. I'm like, ooh, that's a pretty color. I can use that for something. Oh, this is very true. That absolutely could go well on the orcs. Let me get our orcs in. You're going to get a, I think it's 1 unit of Gretchen. I can't remember if it's 10 or 20 Gretchen in the box, so can't remember how many are in there. But absolutely some. Yep. Yes, puppies? Oh, okay. She is very sad. I don't know how she like curls herself up in such weird ways. If you enjoy, she might. That's what happens when she eats dirt. If you enjoy anecdotal comics about a and if you enjoy a slice of life daily comics about or not daily, but slice of life comics about an orc and his squig, who is heavily inspired by that dog right there and her inability to be normal and the weird way she's sleeping, you should check out that Orc and Squig. It's a fun little comic. We love the Squiggers. We even came up with we have an idea for a new Squig comic today that I'll be sharing with the wife tonight, so we can kind of come out with that one. To do another. Sure, run. Mix of this Basilicum Gray. Ooh, gorgeous Plague Knight. That's a really nice looking Plague Knight. This Basilicum Gray needs to get mixed. This is a slightly lag. Mortarian Spear. I'm gonna get this pigment that's settled at the bottom there. This one is less black than Black Templars. There we go. A little lighter shade of gray that I'm going to use to run with the center pipe here, just to darken it a bit. Give it a little bit of a contrasty kind of darkness. All right, here we go. Okay, so that's those colors done. So, other than the shading, that is mostly this. This is the chassis itself. Isn't too much detail work on them. There isn't too terribly a lot going on here. I mean, I'll need to. I'll be shading it up, and I do need Black Templars that up there. All the pipes and everything I run with Black Templars contrast. All the exhaust and stuff. It's generally hidden, but I just like to keep it the way it is. You know, keep it consistent. So this is generally won't be seen too terribly much. And it's the exhaust that sticks out, which unfortunately I have to put on separate because it doesn't. The carapace won't fit over the exhaust. So you have to put the carapace on first and then the exhaust. So the regular Imperial Knight versions of these guys, it is, maybe because Chaos has got extra, I don't know, spiky shits on it. The carapace fits right over the exhaust on the Imperial Knight variants, but not the Chaos ones. So I gotta work with it the way I've got. And also it allows me to get some Black Templars contrast deep in that little crevice there too. Yeah, just hide it. And it's going to be mostly underneath the stuff, so you're not going to see it. But the carapace isn't too much to it, thankfully. It could go absolutely batshit and really there's always like little lines and pipes and things, but I'm not stressing on that. I had someone talk to me like, oh, you should go to Golden Demon. I'm like, my stuff is not Golden Demon. I am not at that level, nor do I want to be. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm the bad shit painting of like every little tube and stuff. It's now for a detail that will be lost underneath other panels and things. I'm not going to worry about it. I mean, heck, even Squidmar's Knights, which are fucking beautiful, I don't think even he did that. Because you gotta know what details are worth painting and what details really aren't. And that is a detail I feel is not. I mean, admittedly, there is some stuff on here that I absolutely don't need to touch and paint, but I still do. So, yeah, I wouldn't dread it, Scarecrows. Just rip the Band-Aid off and dive right in. And you gotta remember, your first minis ain't gonna look great. Part of the process. You gotta suck before you get decent. My early minis look kind of crappy. It is what it is. I am very happy with how my stuff turns out now. But as someone was, I was talking to someone today that was brand new, and they hadn't painted anything yet, and they were worried, and he'd asked me, he's like, well, how long have you been doing this? I'm like, since 94. So, yeah, I got a lot of experience at it. And I would consider myself okay. Not bad. I like the way my stuff looks. I think that's the most important part. But realistically, don't stress on it. Having any paint on the model is better than none. Like the young guy I was talking to today, we were at the store. There were four Necromunda games going on. and they had two of them had finished. So there were two Necromunda games going on and an Age of Sigmar game going on the other table. Two on Necromunda on one table because Necromunda takes half a table, and then the Age of Sigmar was on a full table. And then there was a handful of us around the like crafting tables, painting, and I was sitting down there, and the guy was looking at my Abominant here, and they were checking it out because I had him out because another guy was there asking questions about how I did some of the like chipped paint and things. So he'd asked how long I've been doing this. I'm like, well, I've been doing in the hobby since '94. And he was, he had a kill team. And he's like, yeah, I've got them mostly assembled, but I'm really kind of worried about painting. So I was giving him some basics on, the starter for paint. I'm like, look up Slap Chop, look up a few other things. Ways to, get your feet wet with the painting. And I told him, like, look around you. So the Necromunda games you got going on right here. On one of the Necromunda games, one guy had his gang painted. Necromunda has like 10 models. Maybe 12. Some gangs are down to 6, depending on how many. It's gang warfare. So one guy's gang was painted, and that was it. Another guy's gang was in progress. The other 2 players, nothing was painted. One was primered, the other had just been built. Age of Sigmar, the guy had 1 unit. It was Castor, so I was happy to see that. 1 unit was painted. The rest of his army was primered. He was fighting against ogres. They were all primered, and that was it. I'm like, look around. I'm like, you've got all this stuff around you. I'm like, don't stress about, it's got to be great paint. It's got to be this. Don't worry about that. Realistically, when it comes down to it, look at it as, hey, having a painted army, no matter quality of paint, having just some colors on them, and when you hit the table, they're going to be amazing, and it's going to be awesome. You ain't got to worry about it. And I'll tell you that, don't stress on the quality of the paint. Just get some done to start off. Because they're going to be ugly when you first start. It's the way it always is. It's the way for everybody. I wouldn't stress about it. So, and I just realized on bug. Do I want to do the inside of the sword, the chain swords here, the chain blades, the same teal contrast that I have? Exactly. Because on the Power Claw, that's going to have that armor plate on it. Do I want to do the chain swords in that? If I am going to do that, it's going to be a bit of a challenge because I'm going to need to do it. I think I do, though. I think I want to make it consistent. As this guy's going to have this claw. So, and actually I should, because if I look at like this shield here, and these plates are the same color as his armor. And even on this knight, I did the gun in the green and that in the green. So yeah. So what I'm going to need to do first then is hit this inner piece here and these inner pieces in these swords a bit more with a dry brush to get more of a silver coat on it to hide the darker contrast behind it. I'm take a small dry brush out and get back to Runefang. Because I'm going to need to put a bit more silver on that so the turquoise, I almost said teal, that's not right, the turquoise color comes through more. back on the paint on my hand. But that did not work at all. Yeah, unfortunately, primary could be a little annoying weather dependent wise. I was fortunate enough that yesterday morning was good, so I get this guy primered up. Because I really want to get painting on him this before yesterday's stream, which I did. So, yeah, primering the wintering is an extra effort. You have to warm your primer and all that kind of fun stuff. Okay, so. That's that. So take a touch of this. This is why you have different sized dry brushes. So you can do things like this. Then get that in there. Don't worry too much about going over on the trim because I'm going to paint the trim all that beautiful Balthazar gold. So don't worry too much. I can go a little over and a little heavy on that stuff there. So okay, so there we go. Okay, there we go. So now I've got that on there, so I get my seal up that, grab my Pterodon turquoise. If I get that wet enough that it gets sticky. Run with a, there we go, with that. That's interesting. So the YouTube chat shows the emote as a genie in a bottle, but the chat on the multi-chat that pops up on the stream is like a dude in a hat. It's weird. Weirdness, I say. Alright, so let's get this turquoise and contrast it up. And we'll get this done up. And I also still need, on this guy here, I gotta figure out what color I want to do the Wraith Knight. Because there is dead Wraith Knight bits. So I gotta figure out what color I want to do that. Wraith Knight head. Do it. L10 maybe? I have to pull up my Eldar book in a minute to figure that one out. color I want to make the Wraith Knight. Nope. I just want guitars, please. Don't need lyrics in the music right now. Yeah, I figure out Wraith Knight because then. Not sure what color. Figure that out. Okay, so that's that one. Yeah, I'm not sure what color I want to run with on the Wraith Knight stuff. I'm gonna look in the Eldar Codex and see, get a inspiration for a color theme. And the best part is it's going to be, it's definitely not perfect because it's, the head was ripped off. So I can make it sloppy because I'm sure its head was ripped off and ripped open and off. There's hair. So it ain't gonna be perfect after getting ripped apart by the Rampager. Cannot wait for this guy to get on the field. Can't wait for the Knights themselves. All these guys to get on the field. I think it's going to be good. Let's see what comes up. I'm sure the Infernal Lance detachment, which is the one that most Chaos Knights use in tournament stuff, is going to be a 3-point detachment. So I'll have to figure out what to do. I definitely want to use what the other detachments, like if Hellhunt Lance is a 2-pointer, then I run Hellhunt Lance with the new one that helps the Knight Tyrants get better. That could be a good 3-point, or for 2,000 point with the 3 detachments. I think that'd be good. So there you go. There's the turquoise on the inside of the blades. So that turned out not too terribly hard. Turquoise goes back over there. So, and then like on this hand, on this Warp Strike Claw, the turquoise goes on that piece right there. So, didn't need a dry brush underneath, but it's fine. It makes it stand, it makes it consistent. And then I'll do all my claws up in a metal, and that claw will be red, and that claw will be red, and that claw will be red. I forget what to do with these claws, and this is the Wraith Knight's head, heavily damaged, as I cut out a hole, and there's an Eldar in there. And then I got all the wires coming out of the bottom. So I gotta think of what to do for this. That's a sit down and think about that one a bit. So we've got this mostly done. It'll need clean up. The chassis is mostly done. It was definitely a pinata. Now let's have to do clean up and then shading. Or shading and then clean up. Like there's bits in there I need to touch up and things like that. So this is mostly done. We got our stuff all turquoised. I did some color swatching, and here it is dried up. Let me grab the color card. So there's that Balthazar gold. Dry, that definitely. The bronze and the blue silver. The blue silver gets lost. The bronze I think is too dark. That light bronzy gold color there called Balthazar gold is definitely the one. Yeah, it comes across nicely. So I've got a few minutes left, so what we'll do is we're going to grab some Balthazar Gold. Do I have enough? I should. I'm only using it for the trim. So I should be... Uh-oh, don't die on me, boob. There we go. Getting a little feisty there. Didn't want to work right. Trim this out so I make sure it doesn't dry out on me. Whoop. Pull it out. Wipe the excess paint off my hand. There we go. Yeah, I got like half pot. I'm plenty good. So, yep. So, scarecrows. So what we're talking about, let me zoom all the way out. I have this thing here. It's by this company called Westtoon. It's a paint mixer. So I can take like this Apothecary White, which is a little bit subtle, put it on here, and push down. And the frame rate's making it look a little wonky, but it is vibrating pretty fast. So it is fantastic at mixing up paints. They're not terribly expensive. And it's really good at getting these. It saves you a lot of frustration. And it works with about realistically any paint bottle. It doesn't have to be the Citadel stuff or the Warhammer stuff now. But you do that for a little bit, and now it's really blending together. So it's silicone on the top, so we lovingly called it the boob. So when we're talking about the boob, that is what we're talking about. No. So we're going, it occasionally it's a little feisty if I'm not pushing the right way or doing something to get it turned on. So that's why I was like, no, boob, please work. And you never want to. You always got to make sure your boobs are turned on before you play with them. Because, it's the way things got to work. Absolutely. Never, ever neglect your boobs. And I don't care what your sexual preference is, no matter what, everyone can appreciate a nice boob. Let's get all the way in here as I'm doing some detail stuff for the last few minutes. Just a few more moments, folks. I am doing the piece with probably this is Pterodon Turquoise. It is a contrast paint. It is first time really using it, and yeah, this stuff looks gorgeous. It is very nice. I'm going to be using this on some other stuffs. Have a good one, Jersey. Is it green sleeves? Pterodon turquoise. Focus. This is the exact paint. This is Pterodon turquoise. So what I did was I primered them black, did a heavy dry brush of a Rune Fang silver, which is a very bright silver. I did a heavy dry brush of this stuff, Rune Fang steel. It's very light silver. And then put the Pterodon turquoise on top. So it is, that's what gives it that. The Pterodon turquoise is a great color, don't get me wrong. Having the Rune Fang steel underneath is what gives it that extra shiny kind of metallic pop. So I just want to finish this piece up and then I'm going to call it a night myself. So anyway, dry brushing is a technique that is once you get the hang of it, except that's not finished. Let's get this black bit right here. Dry brushing will absolutely help you. It is an easy way to get details to pop. It's just takes some practice. And it is easy to practice with. The drop of water came out the bottom there at the end. There we go. Alright, so that is what that'll look like. Let me get the gray card so we can really see the color. There it is with the Balthazar Gold on the Pterodon Turquoise. I think that looks fucking phenomenal. That is a good combo of colors. Comes across really well. Oop, got a little bit of drop on there. Clean that up. I don't want my gray card getting anything out of there. So, anywho, I want to give everyone a big thank you for hanging with me while I clean up messes I make. Okay. Anywho. Alright. Thank you everybody for hanging with me for painting on the Night Rampager. We will be picking this up tomorrow. 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central. And we got a lot of progress done today. I mean, I've got the chassis basically finished as far as just going to do some cleanup work on that. I'll be working on trim and details and other stuff tomorrow. So, yeah. Thank you everybody for watching. And I will catch you another night. Bam.